This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Hey, I'm running out to drop off a stack of letters and packages. Need anything shipped while I'm gone?
Save the gas. Stamps.com lets you print postage and schedule pickups right from your desk. Sync your contacts into the address book, get detailed accounting insights, and get notified the moment your certified mail is delivered.
All from my desk?
All from your desk.
Join the 4 million businesses using Stamps.com right now with code PODCAST and get your free welcome gift. Stamps.com, code PODCAST. Taxes and fees apply.
Kempire is brought to you by...
Now, here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go. Oh. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As you can see, this is pre-recorded, and I wasn't sure if I would even be able to go live or put out any content today just because I have a lot still going on. I'm still literally unpacking, trying to figure out this new layout. For those that may have missed it, I did end up moving, and I talked all about it during last week's newest episode of Club KEMPIRE on Apple Podcasts. As to why I decided to move, why I made those changes, I shared a lot. So be sure to check that out if you haven't checked it out on Apple Podcasts. So I'm literally still unpacking. I still have some boxes here. However, I did get an organizer, which was so helpful. And I don't know, this is not sponsored by TaskRabbit, and that's not how I found my organizer. But that is a feature on TaskRabbit where you can hire someone to help you unpack. And it's not as costly as some of you may think. Just saying. So my friend recently sent me something about getting a house manager, and I was like, you know what? And I've seen quite a few different social media posts where people say house managers are really not that expensive if you really do your homework. So I don't have one yet, but I'm just saying the organizer part really helped with this unpacking process. As you all know, I have a lot of obligations. I have you guys to do our weekly recaps of different TV shows and news reports, but I also have sponsors that I have to fulfill. And I had my colonoscopy in the same week. I had other appointments and commitments that I had to do. So having that organizer really helped with this process. And I wanted to come in this new space just feeling organized. And it wasn't like the other space wasn't organized, but my office at the other space became really disorganized. I know you guys saw one particular part of the office, but the rest of the office, it needed some work. It needed some work. So that's why I'm still not in the studio, because I'm trying to set up the studio here to feel more like an office as opposed to just a recording room. And I want to be able to go in there and chill in there if I really wanted to, or go live with you guys from there as opposed to the living room right here. All right. I'm just sharing as we get into this, our Tuesday takeover. This is a pre-recorded mini Tuesday takeover. When we're back in the studio, we can have a full-fledged Tuesday takeover, which I'm excited about doing. And that probably won't be to the fall, if I'm being honest with you, because I can't believe it's already been over 2 weeks since I've been in this apartment. Where did those 2 weeks go? That also means that the summer is almost over. Whoa, 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 whoa. But it's okay. What can you do? I've had a fantastic summer. I didn't travel, though. My last trip was Mexico City. And I definitely need to figure out what my next trip is going to be. I believe, because someone during our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap said that I was becoming mean and bitter and grouchy and blah, 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 blah. I don't believe that. Here's the good thing about being a tourist and being stubborn sometimes is that you do not allow people to shift or allow people to tell you who you are. Maybe if I was in my 20s, I would take what people say on social media about me, which I don't pay attention to, and I'm not in the comments like that. But what comes with great maturity and reaching the big age of 40 plus is not giving a damn what people think about you, because at this particular point in your life, you know who you are. And if you don't, you need to, because someone will tell you who you are. Especially when people think they know you from moments of just seeing you on a platform like this. Anyway, I've digressed. As always, when we do our Tuesday takeover, I always want to hear, what is your good news? I had a lot of good news that I wanted to share with you guys. First of all, I told you about my colonoscopy, came back clear. Don't need to go back for another 10 years. I'm still dealing with the sty, but look, we will figure it out. We will figure it out. I'm being grateful because, especially when you compare to, you had a colonoscopy, came back all good. It could have come back in another way. And a sty comes and goes. I don't want to be looking at it because I know you guys could look at it and don't care and probably wouldn't even notice it because I've had this sty for a few weeks. It's come and gone over the last few weeks. And some of y'all wouldn't even notice. But it's all right. I've digressed again. I say all that to say my good news is that good health has been reported back. And shout out to MyFitnessPal because I've utilized that greatly during these last few weeks. They are one of our sponsors for today, but we'll get to them in just a moment. But there's so much that I want to talk to you guys about. Can we briefly talk about Big Brother? I'm going to have just one conversation about Big Brother at some point, maybe with someone else in regards to just people that are really into it like I am. Because I am really watching. I'm watching Big Brother every single week, multiple times in the week. I keep up with that. I couldn't keep up with Love Island like that. But I love Big Brother. And we're, not that we're winding down, but we're not too far from winding down for the new season of Big Brother. I love whatever's wrong with Angela. In real life, would I like Angela? Probably not. Did I love Angela in her season? I didn't love her, but I didn't hate her. She was entertaining to watch, and she made me giggle a few times. But I have to say I'm impressed with her game because I know to a lot of people it's not going to make sense. But I think some of what she does is strategic. She's no fool. She's played this game better this time around than I think the last time around, if I recall, because that was so long. It was not that long ago, but you get what I'm saying. You don't remember someone's gameplay unless it really stood out to you. I felt like she was so overly emotional, and she still is. That has not changed for Angela at all, but it's entertaining to watch. But I have to say, she's one of the people running that house, along with Dee and the other Survivor player. I can't think of his name. He got the haircut from Yash. I don't really have anyone that I'm necessarily rooting for. I kind of am rooting for Taylor because at first I wasn't sure if Taylor knew what she was doing in this game until these last few weeks. I was like, oh no, Taylor knows what she's doing. Lala, a.k.a. Latrice, first of all, we have to kudos to her for doing that iconic Big Brother challenge for HOH, and she ends up winning. She earned that. I know people say she doesn't know what she's doing, including Taylor. She doesn't know what she's doing. But that is, even if she doesn't win this game, to be the oldest person to win that wall challenge where everything is done. I was so surprised. By the time they got to, I was like, wait a minute, Lala is still up there? I was so impressed with her completing that. But she's very fit too. You would never have thought that she's a 58-year-old woman. But she really is like the mom of the group. People really do enjoy her and love her. Haley, not so much, but I don't like Haley. These last few weeks, before I didn't even care about Haley, she was sort of like background. And then the last few weeks when she won HOH, I was like, I don't like this woman. She's giving very much Karen with the whole, I've had a terrible last couple of weeks. And what's her name? Melody? Is that her name? The blonde one that looks like the lady from, what is it? Oh my God, I can't think of that movie. Damn it. It's based in Greece, but you guys know who I'm talking about. She looks like that actress, and the actress has been in many other things as well. If I'm not rooting for Taylor, I'm kind of rooting for Mallory. Not because I necessarily like Mallory, but she's the underdog, and everyone has been coming for Mallory since the beginning. And the fact that she's still there is impressive to me. It reminds me a little bit, not a lot. It reminds me of Taylor Hale's season where everyone just hated her. But I don't feel like people hate Mallory. But they do count her out. I do find Mallory a little weird from the very beginning when she was, Lyric's my best friend. Okay. Look, okay, if you say so. But she's actually really good at the game. So I wouldn't be mad if she won. I wouldn't be mad if Taylor won. Taylor, she hasn't built a lot of relationships in the house. I think she is now. But in the beginning, I think people counted her out as well. But she's shown to be a pretty smart player. Yash is just there. Kamu's one to watch, but I could see them getting rid of Kamu because I feel like they're using Kamu as a shield. And Kamu, although he's very good at the challenges, I could see them. I don't think there's real connections or loyalty to Kamu. I think they're using Kamu. The real connection are with the icons. So Yeah, it's been good so far this season. Is it my favorite season? Not really, but it's not bad. It's not a bad season. It's definitely not a bad season at all. But we shall see. We shall see. I'm going to keep watching. But that's Big Brother season 28. I'm still watching. I literally, before this, but I said I have to record this now because then I would talk about this past week's episode. What was it? Sunday's episode. So I don't even know who won HOH this week. And there's so many spoilers on X, so I kind of knew, but then I forgot. So it's always good when I end up watching it again. I'm like, wait, I forgot who won. So it's almost like it's new to me. Almost. All right. I haven't gotten a chance to watch the latest episode of Real Housewives of London. I don't even know if that came out. Did it come out? I can't keep up. Bravo is not promoting this damn show. And I get it. It's already been released in the UK. It's not really their demographic. Andy Cohen doesn't produce it. But I'm just y'all could do a little bit of promo. It's not getting any kind of promo right now. But I did talk a little bit about it last week. And I've seen mixed reviews from the American audience when it comes to the show. They kind of feel like it's a slow start. They're not really getting into it. I thought it was a solid first season, but their season trailer came out. The Real Housewives of London season trailer. Matter of fact, let's actually take a listen to it. I know some of you are going to be like, but I don't even know who's talking. It's all right. Look, it's all right. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Let me see. I'm going to get this for, I think the Queens of Bravo actually posted it. Let me scroll down. Yeah, here it is. It's about 3 minutes.
Thank you so much for joining me at our Chinese New Year.
And it looks like everyone from season 1 has returned. I don't even think there was a newbie added. And Nessie is a good damn host. If you're watching the current season of Real Housewives of London, she definitely is a good host. And it looks like she's hosting something for season 2.
Dinner.
And the new season of Real Housewives of London because I know we have a UK audience and people that watch internationally, even in Canada. You guys are able to watch this on HeyU. It comes out September 7th. Excuse me.
Exiting the year of the snake. The new year, it is the year of the fire horse. It means there's going to be more passion. It's not about the money. It's just about the money.
Panthea is up to her old tricks. I'm not surprised that Panthea came back. For me, she came out strong in season 1. And when I say strong, not the fact that I liked her, but I understood why she was cast.
They didn't want to deal with you!
Amanda's getting... Here's the thing. Amanda... Based on the trailer and based on what we got from Amanda in season 1, I see a completely different person. And I'm not sure if she's just now comfortable and really like this, or she's just showing up for the cameras. Because to see this less demure woman, it's kind of strange to see.
There's going to be more energy.
You're the demon of darkness.
Where is the Lord?
Not the demon of darkness. Okay, Karen.
Jesus! And it's going to be a wilder year than you've ever experienced.
Your top lip was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
With their heads!
Hello! This is not going anywhere. So can we please enjoy the sea breeze and the snapper, please?
Okay, I love listening to Karen speak on the show just because it's like a mix of Jamaican patois and her being in England. And of course, they've influenced the accent that you have in Jamaica. But not the sea breeze.
Oh, dear.
This season on The Real Housewives of London.
The lunatics are back.
The oysters is working.
There we go.
I've never seen anyone make Chanel look so bad.
My eyes hurt.
There's something about Juliet, not the Juliet from Ladies of London, the other Juliet on this show. And this is what they talk about in season 1, where it seems like she's borrowing clothes. She seems like a poser, maybe a social climber. It's kind of giving that when she comes out in this Chanel outfit.
I'll have what she's having, which is no alcohol. Oh.
Hello. It's my best friend.
Well.
I'm owning a lot of my behavior.
And so how did you guys manage to move forward from it?
We just drank a lot of wine. You look amazing. So no facelift. You look not good. No facelift. Tell the truth. To say
That's why I keep saying Panthea is good for the show, because she's going to ask the questions that might be inappropriate. Now you asking, did you get a facelift?
Lie constantly about things is not who I am.
You're thanking people for inviting you to the British Fashion Awards when they didn't invite you.
Here we go with Juliet, the Juliet on Juliet conversation right here. Again, it's the same woman that I was mentioning to you before. It seems like she's a social climber. It seems like she's a poser. It seems like she's not 100% honest. And I kind of believe that, just based on what I see in season 1 of Juliet, but okay.
And then you've superimposed yourself on the red carpet. Some of us...
Wait, don't tell me Juliet superimposed herself on the red carpet. OMG.
Bullshit meters. And mine's...
You are an inspiration, Amanda, and I really hope I look like you in 40 years' time.
Ouch.
Nessie, you should drink more often.
Panthea wanted her lips done. We gave her a discount.
Oh my God, they're so red. Your mum's going to be jealous. Oh my God, the lip like a camel ass.
I heard I'm invited to Antigua. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hallelujah.
Where's the bricks?
G-Law.
Is it true?
Yeah. We all kissed him. He was out all the time.
Okay, Jude Law.
Things can only get better from here. Right?
Tati, we're going to faint. Hang on.
You're obsessed with me. Lie after lie. Do you like our new budding friendship? I mean, you were so far up her.
That was Juliet speaking to Karen. Juliet from Ladies of London.
Make up with her.
And again, for those that want to see the trailer, you can see it on Queens of Bravo. And I'm sure, I doubt Bravo has actually posted, but that's why I'm saying go to Queens of Bravo on X.
And dump me.
Are you jealous?
Oh my God.
What do you want from me? Look at me when you're talking to me.
Why are you yelling at me?
Don't come in my house. Well, I did.
Oh, Lord, Amanda and Karen are having it out.
Your customer service is Ryanair, and I'm used to first class.
She's saying this to Amanda? Panthea is saying this to Amanda? I'm thinking Amanda lives that life. And for those that don't even know what Ryanair is, it's like a cheaper airline over there in Europe.
That was up Amanda's ass.
But you're up there now. She needs laxative.
You're full of She's duplicitous. She's untrustworthy.
Sideways.
Is that a thing?
Sorry that we're talking so loud. The lady is a tramp.
All right, the new season 2 of The Real Housewives of London, to our international folks, comes to Hayu on September 7th. Speaking of Hayu had a fan fest over there in Australia, and Dorinda was there, Meredith Marks was there, Cynthia Bailey was there, and some other people from Bravo were there for this fan fest. And literally, this happened around the same time as Peter Thomas he did the interview with Carlos. Then I saw that he was on AT Alien's YouTube channel trying to clarify because he was getting so much backlash. And even Michelle was just, but Peter, that doesn't make any sense. And I have to say, I did listen to a good majority of what he was saying in that interview. And the timeline that he was talking about didn't make sense. We did a video talking about what he said in Carlos's interview, and I meant to do a video over the weekend talking about this other follow-up interview, but I was like, I'm just tired of Peter. Because we're talking about a man that has been accused of not paying his taxes to the federal government, and what he described of what he was asking Cynthia to do didn't make sense to me. So I'm like, I should not take what Peter says at his word. Okay? One of the things that he said that didn't make sense to me was that this house purchase situation happened years ago. It wasn't anything recent. And then I said, that doesn't make sense because you just went to jail. Okay. And then he also made it seem, he was like, oh, it was before the podcast or something like that. And so why did you guys end up doing the podcast together if everything was all good? Why did you even bring up this story? It just wasn't clicking for me. But again, I had to say to myself, this man doesn't seem like the most honest man either. So his entitlement to what Cynthia should do for him, because he claims that he's helped her make millions of dollars, it never gave that, Peter. When you guys were on Real Housewives of Atlanta, it gave that y'all were broke, that y'all were losing money, literally your first season. And I'm not saying that it didn't end up helping Cynthia, but if you really helped Cynthia make millions of dollars, I don't think Cynthia would be out here hustling the way that she is. And I get it, life can be expensive no matter how much money you may have made on the show. But I just don't believe Peter Thomas when he said, oh, he's helped Cynthia make millions of dollars and he walked away from the marriage with nothing. Okay, Peter, I don't believe that either. He's such a toxic individual, and I literally said this when I first saw the story come up. I said, I hope Cynthia has him blocked on everything. On social media, on her phone, and anyone that reaches out to her on his behalf, block them too. Mind you, Cynthia is best friends with his daughter. And I remember when he first said something derogatory about Cynthia just a few months. I think, did he go to jail at that particular point? Or he was in jail? Or the halfway house? I forgot. He had did an interview and he had a slick comment about Cynthia then. And I did a video talking about, are you okay? He's not. He's definitely not okay. And I said, I saw the amount of people in Cynthia's life. It wasn't Cynthia. Cynthia didn't like the video, but the amount of people that did, name them. If you think about the people that are close to Cynthia, all those people liked that video or ended up following me from that video, including Peter's daughter, which told me everything that I needed to know about Peter. That your own daughter is liking the video that I just did about, are you okay? Hence why everyone said, you have grown children. Why couldn't you go to your grown children to buy the house? Because the relationship might be not the best. I don't know. I'm just saying. If your daughter's over here liking my video about you, but again, she's close with Cynthia. So I'm going to trust the daughter. If the daughter's going to align with your ex-wife, that tells me everything that I need to know about you as a father. Allegedly. Allegedly. All right, before we move on, I want to say thank you to our sponsors for today, MyFitnessPal. Okay, real talk MyFitnessPal moment. Because this week has been a lot, I've moved, so my kitchen's in boxes and I'm basically eating like a raccoon. And then to really round things out, I also had a colonoscopy this week. Yes, living the glamorous life over here. But listen, jokes aside, if you're at the age where you should be getting screened, go do it. The prep is the worst part, and even that's honestly not that bad. Early detection saves lives, and an afternoon of being a little dramatic on the couch is worth it. Trust me. Now here's what nobody warned you about. Between the prep and easing back in, your whole diet gets turned upside down. My routine was gone, and the one thing that kept me from completely losing it was logging everything in MyFitnessPal. Even when my meals looked nothing like normal, I could still see it, stay on top of my protein, and get back on track faster. Because, as I keep telling you, your nutrition is the foundation that everything runs on. Your energy, your recovery, all of it. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com, use code KEMPIRE, all uppercase, for 15% off MyFitnessPal Premium. And don't forget, that is only $68 for the year, $5.66 for the month, and 19 cents a day. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com and use my code KEMPIRE, all uppercase, for 15% off MyFitnessPal Premium. More information on MyFitnessPal Premium and your discount will be available in the description. Thank you, MyFitnessPal.
Still waiting in line? Again? That's time you'll never get back. Save time and money with Stamps.com. Over 4 million businesses have skipped the line with Stamps.com. Join them to save up to 90% off carrier rates from your computer or phone right now. Print postage for certified mail, registered mail, and packages in seconds. Then schedule a pickup right from your home or office. For a limited time, go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST for a free welcome gift. Taxes and fees apply.
Shout out to MyFitnessPal for being one of our sponsors of our mini Tuesday takeover. For those that are just joining us, this is pre-recorded because, as you can see, it's nighttime. However, I wanted to make sure that we got our Tuesday takeover in. That doesn't mean that I won't be going live again on YouTube, but I have been going live a lot on Patreon. So be sure to follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/thekempire. Okay? All right. I have some updates. With Tuesday Takeover, we don't just talk about reality television or recap reality television. We talk about everything in pop culture. And we have been talking about Andrew Gillum. But one of the updates that we didn't give you was that he was recently arrested because he tested positive for drugs again. Let me give you an update because apparently he has now entered rehab. In their exclusive, TMZ reports that Andrew Gillum is swapping jail for rehab, but the court will still be keeping close tabs on him. According to new legal documents obtained by TMZ, a judge ordered the former Florida gubernatorial candidate released from the Baldwin County Jail Friday so that he could enter Cumberland Heights Treatment Center in Nashville. Gillum must wear a GPS ankle monitor during his release and remain at the facility for at least 30 days or however long it takes him to complete a drug and alcohol treatment program. I actually hope that he stays longer. To be honest with you, the order says that Gillum won't be allowed passes during intensive inpatient treatment. The judge says that if he leaves without permission, he'll be considered an escapee and immediately arrested. I wonder, after the last situation that involved drugs years ago, I wonder if he had gone to rehab or had gotten treatment at all. I don't know. I don't know if he's been open about what happened. I know he did an interview with his wife after that, but I don't know if he ever went to rehab. I hope that he's able to benefit from this stint in rehab. TMZ continues. It says, as they reported, Gillum was taken back into custody earlier this month after prosecutors say that he missed a random drug test and then tested positive for meth at a court appearance. His legal troubles began in July when Alabama cops said that they pulled him over for driving erratically and found 3 grams of meth, 8 pre-rolled joints, cut straws, pipes, and a bong. Here's the thing, because we were very hard on Karen Huger for her driving inebriated. So we're going to be hard on him as well because he needs to get help. The fact that he was behind the wheel driving erratically, he's lucky he didn't harm himself or anyone else. So they say that Gillum was charged with felony meth possession and 2 misdemeanors. The order says if Gillum leaves the treatment center for any reason, even after successfully completing inpatient treatment, the judge must immediately be notified and Gillum shall be returned to jail. The sad part about this is that he had such a bright future in politics, and he's been a great new host, or one of the hosts of the podcast that he has over there. So I think it's really sad, but hopefully this will be the beginning of a positive turn in his life. So that's the update that I wanted to give you on Andrew Gillum. I also wanted to give you an update on Luigi Mangione. So it's been a long time. My Taurus brother that now has admitted to unaliving the United Healthcare CEO. But there's been so much speculation as to why he decided to take this plea deal. From what I'm hearing, the reason why he decided to take this plea deal was so that he would not end up in state prison. The update they're saying is that his state murder trial is being pushed back. According to TMZ, Luigi Mangione will not go on trial for murder next month. The start of his state proceedings have been delayed after his federal guilty plea last week. A judge in Manhattan has given state prosecutors until October 9th to respond to Luigi's request to dismiss the case, thus pushing back the previous September 8th start date. And it makes me wonder, him admitting guilt in the federal case, how that will affect his state case. How are you asking to be dismissed when you're admitting in the federal case that you did this? So as TMZ reported, Luigi's team, which includes Diddy's attorney, y'all remember that? Yeah. It's an expensive team. It makes you wonder, who are the people behind Luigi Mangione and his family? Luigi's legal team filed to dismiss the state case right after he pled guilty to federal stalking charges, arguing that the guilty plea now bars the state case from moving forward until the federal constitution and New York's double jeopardy law. So that's also been a lot of the conversation as well in regards to, is this double jeopardy kind of thing, where he can't be prosecuted for the same thing. I'm no attorney. I'm going to have to get an attorney back here on the channel. I've been thinking about bringing some attorneys back just because I love having those conversations. So stay tuned for that. Once things are starting to get back into a flow after a move, things are getting back into a flow. So I definitely have a few questions in regards to this. So TMZ continues. It says, his team also accused the state and federal prosecutors of using him as a pawn in a coordinated push to punish him twice for the unaliving. Luigi is still awaiting sentencing in the federal case. He did not come to a plea agreement with prosecutors, so he's essentially at the judge's mercy. Oh. Federal sentencing guidelines recommend 24 to 30 years. Doesn't mean that he would serve that entire time, but damn, he's a young guy. But again, if he's admitting that he did this, I know a lot of people, they're like, free Luigi Mangione, he didn't do it. And I think, again, this goes with pretty privilege. A lot of people are only doing that. If this guy was ugly, I definitely think it would be very different. Okay? Not only did Luigi plead guilty to stalking, he also admitted to unaliving Brian Thompson, a bombshell statement state prosecutors could use against him if the murder trial does happen. We're going to watch. It's been a while since we talked about the Luigi Mangione case, but I definitely, since we're doing Tuesday Takeover, I said, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. All right? Speaking of a case that we've been talking about and we haven't talked about in a long time, Nancy Guthrie. So according to TMZ, Nancy Guthrie, bones found in a desert near home. According to TMZ, they said authorities have recovered what appears to be human remains in a desert 15 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. I remember Phaedra, a psychic medium that I've been on her channel. She's been on my channel. I have seen her multiple readings that she's done on this, and she has said we will find Nancy and her remains not too far from her home. I remember her predicting this. Not to say that this is what they're saying, but this is the latest development. They said authorities have recovered what appears to be human remains in a desert 15 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. The Pima County sheriffs say that so far there's no indication the bones are connected to Guthrie, but we have a more definitive answer. Law enforcement sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ the bones were discovered in a very remote area of the desert, only accessible by a long hike. One source said, "Our boots on the ground say that the bones are definitively not Nancy Guthrie." We're told that the remains are bleached white bones, which have been there for a long time. Bleached white bones occur when ultraviolet rays from the sun break down the organic components of the bones, resulting in a loss of color and turning them white. TMZ sources say that there are still no leads in capturing Nancy's kidnappers or locating her remains. This is just so sad because at the end of the day, I don't believe that Nancy is still alive, but I think for her daughter and the family, they want to find her remains in order for them to at least have some closure. You know what I mean? That's what they want. They want to have some closure. I think they all have come to the conclusion that she's not alive, unfortunately. All right, so that's an update. Not real update, but just an update. Some other pop culture stories that we've been following yesterday and the day before yesterday, we had the breaking news Sunday night that Hayden Panettiere had passed away at 36 years old. And TMZ has been on it, and they have some information that I ended up seeing after our Real Housewives of Atlanta live that, I don't know, it's some disturbing news. So Hayden and Brian Hickerson kept their rekindled romance to themselves in order to protect her career, TMZ has learned. A source close to Brian tells TMZ the couple didn't break up as many times as the public was led to believe, and were actually together while she was promoting her memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, in the months before her death. You also have to keep in mind, if you remember some of the stories, she accused him of DV. And I believe he was also arrested for DV. TMZ source says that Hayden was advised by her team to distance herself from Brian, at least publicly, even though they were still romantic in private. The reason Hayden's camp felt that Brian was bad for business while she was promoting her book. We're told their complicated history was perceived as being bad for book sales, but they were still in constant communication during the promotional tour. We're told that Hayden basically became a member of the Hickerson family in recent years, especially in light of the fact she didn't have a close relationship with her own family. A separate source close to Brian confirms they've been dating consistently for years, and reports of them going their separate ways were false and were spread as a way to help her career. TMZ source saw that Hayden and Brian together multiple times this past year in Los Angeles and South Carolina, mainly at friends' gatherings. In fact, we're told people in their inner circle would laugh at media headlines claiming they'd split because they were still a couple. Hayden was actually asked about their relationship status with Brian, who once served jail time for pleading no contest to 2 charges stemming from an alleged violent incident with Hayden back in May, and she laughed at the idea of marrying him. And back in March, Brian helped Hayden, who was using crutches to get around, get to her car at LAX. Though we were told at the time the two were just friends. As Hayden died Sunday afternoon at an Airbnb in Greenville, South Carolina, and their sources say that Brian was in town as well. Unclear what they were doing in Greenville, but we're told they visit the area often. First responders were called to a residence Sunday afternoon around 1:50 p.m. to help a woman who was in cardiac arrest. They attempted life-saving measures, but ultimately pronounced Hayden dead at 2:32 p.m. I posted this tweet because there are a few white people that the black community they love them no matter what. And I didn't realize how much black people love Hayden. I love her because I've been watching her for years. I just saw a clip of her on the Rosie O'Donnell show, and I'm like, oh my God, this girl has been famous. This woman has been famous since she was a little girl. But my favorite projects from her were Heroes and Nashville. And I literally saw a lot of people now are posting this because if you remember watching Heroes, it said Save the Cheerleader, which was her Save the World. And the fact that she's not here, it's just so... and then with the state of the world, it's just damn. Dispatch audio mentioned a possible overdose, and Narcan was found in the apartment where she died. The medication is typically used for opioid overdose victims. Shout out to Mayor Mamdani because literally, and I'm sure if you live in New York City, you saw where they were giving out free Narcan boxes so you can keep in your home. Because God forbid, if you have someone in your home or someone visiting your home and they overdose, that could save their lives. Yeah. So Hayden's autopsy found no signs of trauma, and her cause and manner of death are pending further investigation. The reason why we're even talking about this is because they're saying that her ex, estranged boyfriend, not sure, actually was there with her. Very sad situation. We're going to continue to follow that story. All right. Let me move on from there. I have a few things that I wanted to talk about. Let's just talk about Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. All right. Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Are you guys watching? Episode 1 wasn't great. Episode 2 was a little bit better, maybe because we weren't in the OC. And shout out to the producers for making it only 1 episode. Beverly Hills is going to be, looks like, 2 episodes, which makes me hopeful that the Atlanta episode will be at least 2. But we shall see. We get to see Crystal Kung Minkoff in her ugly yellow pants. Honestly, when they flash back to Crystal from then, and I know Crystal when she said she first did this show, that she was very self-conscious, that she did certain things that she probably normally wouldn't do. I think the makeup that she was wearing, she looked so pretty in her first season in her ugly leather pants. I don't think they're ugly. She literally goes to Sutton's house because Sutton is hosting the ladies. I know Sutton, she's a perfect example of no matter how much money you have, you always just want to, there are certain people that just want to be famous, and I think that's what it is. And also she wants to be Kyle's best friend and sister, whatever, it's weird. But Crystal comes over and she's, you know what, I haven't worn these pants in 5 years, and I kind of feel like they are ugly. No, they weren't, Crystal. Even watching back that, you looked so cute. You looked really beautiful. And you look beautiful now in them. In fact, some of us can't fit the things that we wore 5 years ago, okay? But I thought she looks great. There are so many rumors whether or not Crystal is going to be coming back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You may have seen that Dorit was seen filming for this new season. You may have also seen that Bose has gone to Ghana. I don't know. I'm assuming they're filming her wedding over there. She's having multiple weddings. She's having her African wedding, and she's going to have her traditional American wedding here. I'm assuming that's going to be filmed. There are mixed reviews on the cast remaining the same. I haven't seen any word on other cast changes. I know people are speculating that Crystal might be coming back. I don't think that it's a complete no, but maybe a couple months ago when this first started, sources were telling me that's not even true. I did hear some other stuff, though, Crystal. I did hear some other stuff. You're going to see more Crystal on the network at some point. That's all I'll say. I'm not opposed to Crystal coming back. And look, and Crystal knows my criticisms of her season, but Crystal even says how she was portrayed and how she showed up was not necessarily who she really was. And she believes if she was to come into this, and maybe the strength of her doing this podcast, she would be very different. Based off of this episode of Ultimate Girls Trip, it's a different setup, so you really can't judge from it, but it was a light, fun episode. It was far better episode than the first episode. Is it still holding me? No, because I feel like there's so much pre-producing these ladies are doing. A couple of things that stood out to me. First of all, Countess Luann, you and that man? Okay. She says that's her boyfriend, but it seems like they have an open relationship, which maybe will work for Countess Luann. But he's a handsome German man. I was like, okay. She's a beautiful woman. I wouldn't expect anything less. So she's got a man, all right? The light, fun energy is definitely Porsha. She definitely brings that youthful energy to this cast of women. I just feel like some of what they're doing is so forced, so pre-produced. Like we were talking about with Giselle trying to start that drama between Tamra and Vicky. So, of course, Giselle, in true producer fashion, confronts Vicky. I heard that you're going to put me in a box. Vicky, I get this is her personality, but she's such a drag. And I feel like if this is the energy that you're going to bring for this new season of The OC, which no one is talking about, we're not even talking about it. You want me to, I stopped watching. I remember I said, well, I'm going to try and watch the first couple episodes. What episode are we on? Are we on 4? I have no idea. But the bringing of Vicky did not help the series. I don't know what they were thinking, but fine. Look, fine. She is such a drag. But we heard that. Remember, we were hearing rumors that she was a drag, that she was fighting with everyone. In this week's episode, she's fighting with Giselle, and she's fighting with Countess Luann. Countess Luann, I moved my chair. I don't want to sit next to this woman. She is so weird. She really is weird, but it's not lost on me. So Kyle is still talking about, I wish I could say divorce. And not that I wish divorce on her, but at this particular point, you've been divorcing this man for years. And not even divorcing. You've been separated and crying about this man for the last few years. And look, I get it. In real life, 30 years of marriage, you're not just going to get over it. But it is a lot for the fans to watch, especially when we really have no idea why you guys are even separated. The fact that Porsha comes out and Portia's like, I'm such a goldfish. I'm like a goldfish. I didn't even look behind me. I completely forgot that she was with me. But Kyle is over in a corner by the bushes crying about today would have been our 30th anniversary, and he sent me a text message. I was so annoyed with that because I was like, how many more years are we going to be talking about this marriage and this separation with no divorce? Because now it's annoying. And it felt forced. I'm not going to even hold you. I didn't believe Kyle in this moment that she was getting emotional because it was the 30th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. What made me laugh in that moment was the fact that Vicky was, you ruined your family. I thought the same thing. I did it to myself. And they flash back and they talk about her divorce. She's like, yeah, but you ruined your family. Yeah, I had hopes too. It disappointed me too. I was like, damn, she's a weird woman. But maybe that's what made her great on reality television. But she's really bringing the energy down, even for the watchers. But all right. Here's the other forced moment from Ultimate Girls Trip that I was just like, all right, Teresa. I know Teresa is not... It's so funny how Teresa is so different when she's around other housewives than when she's on New Jersey. She actually gets lost. You don't even know that Teresa's there. But Teresa getting upset with Vicky, saying that she's the one that looks like she's changed the most. Based off the pictures, Teresa, you definitely changed the most, but you changed for the better, okay? But she literally said it to your face. She wasn't being snarky or nasty about it. She was answering a question, who has changed the most? And the fact that you brought that up as a reason to be upset, I was like, okay, now this is giving forced. But I could understand you being upset with Vicky and her comments about your legal situation. But Vicky backpedaling, saying, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about someone on my cast. Who in your cast is having a tax situation? Jennifer? Like Jen? Oh no, what I have heard in regards to this new season of Orange County is that you can't stand the new girl, but that seems to be something that you always do. Sidebar, speaking of the new girl, she's not new. Her thinking that Sutton is actually Crystal Kung Minkoff, I said, oh, all right. Vicky really is Ramona. They're just from different coasts, if we're going to be honest about it. Just saying. A sidebar, speaking of Ramona, you know they're still filming The Golden Life? That's going to be based on what I heard, they asked for more episodes for The Golden Life because they're loving what's happening. I see Margaret Josephs is going to make appearances on there as well. Candace Bushell, who wrote the original books about Sex and the City. What's her name? Barbara. Remember Barbara from Real Housewives of New York? She was there for a hot second. She even ran for mayor of New York. She apparently makes an appearance. A couple of people make appearances on The Golden Life, which is coming to E! This looks like it's going to be a long season. Andy Cohen better hope Real Housewives of New York reboot to the reboot does well, because if this comes out around the same time as Roni and does better, I wish you luck. I wish you luck with that. And it's so funny that Jill, I know when this starts airing, Jill Zarin is going to lose her mind, because literally this was like her baby. She was the one trying to make this show happen. And because of stupidity, she lost her job and Dorinda took it from her. No, she didn't take it from her, but they offered it to Dorinda. Dorinda wasn't going to do this. Dorinda has a contract with Bravo. So she wasn't going to do this. And now it's Dorinda's vehicle. Dorinda must be doing something right in life. Dorinda did talk about her selling a portion of the Berkshires, which will be featured on Ultimate Girls Trip. And I think there was some sort of confusion about it. So Dorinda thought that the Blue Manor estate was a certain amount of acreage. I think she thought it was like 9 acres or something like that. So I believe because she was having an issue with the neighbor, that she ended up figuring out how much of that property that she actually owned. And she actually owns more than double of the acreage that she thought. So she ended up selling a portion of it, a large portion of it, for $1.something million. And I'm like, okay, good for you, Dorinda. Maybe she'll talk about this on the new season of The Golden Life. All right. Before we move on, let me see. Oh, before we get into anything else, we got to pay some bills, as always. Shout out to our friends at Lola Blankets. I'm loving these blankets, y'all. Okay, I have to talk about this because this just showed up and I have not stopped touching it since. Do you see this? This is Lola Blankets, and this is genuinely one of the softest things I own. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I was just showing this to my friend, and she was like, oh my God, this is so soft. You know I'm a blanket person. Winding down usually means something on in the background and something soft around me. And this one is a different tier. It's ultra soft, luxury faux fur, and it's got this stretch to it, like 4-way stretch. So it's not stiff. It actually moves and drapes the way that you want a blanket to. It instantly makes wherever it sits look more put together. I basically claimed it for the couch already. Look at this. You know, I just moved, so this is perfect. And it's not just a pretty piece. It's machine washable. It's double hemmed, so it actually holds up. No piling, no shedding. Even after washing it, it's not precious. You can actually live in it. They've got over 20,000 5-star reviews. And honestly, once you feel this thing, you get why they call it the world's #1 blanket. This is officially replacing a few blankets I already own. For a limited time, my listeners and viewers, that's you, can get 40% off select Lola Blanket products with code KEMPIRE at checkout. Head to lolablankets.com and use code KEMPIRE for 40% off your order. 40%. Again, lolablankets.com, code KEMPIRE, 40% off. And after you check out, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Let them know we sent you. That actually supports the show. Wrap yourself in luxury. This is Lola Blankets. You know what's wild? For years, I watched people in my life try to force their hair into routines that were never built for them. Using the same products, the same just do this advice you see everywhere, and wondering why nothing worked. Turns out one size fits all almost never fits textured hair. It's not about trying harder. It's about using what's actually formulated for your texture. That's why I've been paying attention to Baskin Lather. As you already know, you can take a look at my beard. Their stimulating scalp and hair balm is made for curly and kinky hair specifically. 100% natural ingredients that actually penetrate the strand instead of just sitting on top and clogging things up. No petroleum, no lanolin, none of that heavy, greasy buildup. Give it about 3 months of consistent use and people are seeing real changes in breakage and shine. You all have been telling me this in the comment section. And their hydrating hair mist, aloe vera avocado oil, is perfect if you're rocking locks, twists, or braids and need something to fight frizz and dryness without messing up your style. What gets me the most though is the story behind it. Baskin Lather is Black-owned, family-operated. It started because CEO Shayna's little sister was misdiagnosed by a dermatologist who told her hair might never grow back. Instead of accepting that, Shayna and her mom went and formulated their own scalp and hair oil. Today, her sister's hair is down to her hips. That's the kind of energy behind every product that they make. Explore viral bestsellers and products for healthier hair of all types at BaskinLatherCO.com. That's BaskinLatherCO.com. Use code KEMPIRE for 20% off. Thanks to Baskin Lather for sponsoring today's live. More information on Baskin Lather will be available in the description. Welcome back, guys, to the KEMPIRE channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. More information on all of our sponsors will be available in the description, and more information about the KEMPIRE After Dark, a live show returning to New York City September 25th. If you wanted a night of hot topics, tea being spilled, and just fun, and a moment and a break from your daily life, this is your opportunity. Don't be afraid to come on your own or get the live stream ticket where you're able to keep it for 1 week after the show. More information will be available at KempireAfterDarkLive.com/NYC, or more information available in the description, including more information about the 5th annual Women's Hygiene Drive that Danielle has put together. You guys have been so fantastic about helping us fulfill the Amazon wish list. She is collecting items for the unhoused women in the DMV area. She's done it multiple times. We've supported it multiple times here on the channel. So let's sell it out. Let's sell it out and provide for the wonderful women of the DMV. Okay, more information on that will be available in the description. Back to our mini Tuesday takeover. It's pre-recorded for those that might be just joining us. Be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions if you're a part of the replay crew about some of the hot topics that we've already discussed. So, you know, yesterday we recapped the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you missed it, be sure to check it out. Mods, if we can just post a link to yesterday's live. It was a 3-hour live, and it went up and down, but we had a lot of really great fun. And a lot of you were reacting to my reenactment of K. Michelle with Mama Morton and Shamea in the club, FaceTiming Papa Morton. Okay? And I had a good time with that because I really believe that's what happened. I really believe that's what happened. But it was a good old time, and I appreciate you all having a good old time with me, okay? But speaking of the reunion, so a lot of people are still reacting, and some of you have strong reactions to this reunion. Strong reactions to this reunion, which is a good thing for the network, but at the same time, I'm like, whoo, y'all, we don't know these people. But Angela is getting a lot of backlash. Kelly is getting a lot of backlash, because everyone felt like Kelly was chiming in a lot, but a lot of people are saying the same thing about Angela was chiming in. I'm okay with them chiming in, because here's the thing. If they're not chiming in, they're boring. And then the network's, we're not going to bring that person back. I feel like for the most part, everyone has been chiming in. I'm trying to think of anyone that hasn't. There's some people chiming in more than others, which is okay. Some people need to chime in more than others. In this part 2, I have to say, Phaedra actually got activated. She needed to, because the season was, people were like, she should be a friend of, if at all, be there. All right. Angela took to social media and shared a picture. I'm going to share with you guys here. Hold on. Shared this picture of her and Kelly Rowland. And if you are new to the channel, I love me some Kelly Rowland, okay? Gorgeous. Look at Kelly here. Gorgeous. So Angela posted this picture of her. Charles definitely has her in those rooms and not in courtrooms yet. Oh, I'm not wishing that on you, Angela. Play it. So Angela posts this picture of her and Kelly Rowland, and she says, "The only Kelly I acknowledge." Oh, my goodness. I don't really understand. And I know some of you are writing dissertations in the comment section about, I don't know how you don't understand why Angela feels the way that she feels about Shamea. And I'm just like, calm down. We don't know these people. It is not that deep. Some of y'all are taking it even more personal than the person that actually should be taking it personal. Calm down, okay? It really is not that deep. When I get off of here, I'm not thinking about Angela and Kelly and their beef. And you shouldn't either. You know what I'm doing? I'm going out and I'm touching grass, literally. Hugging a tree. Going for a long walk with the breeze in my locks. Look at my locks. In my beard. Okay? Through my style. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing, and I implore some of you that are passionate about these people you do not know, and you're watching an edited version, and you're only hearing a version of what they want to share. I implore you to get outside, okay? And let the breeze go through your locks, okay? Speaking of locks, I don't know why it reminded me of this. Did you guys see the Different World trailer that's coming to Netflix in September? It was so good. I can't show it to you because I'm not playing with Netflix. You're not going to copyright strike me, okay? But if you haven't seen it, you can see it now. Go to Netflix, go to the social media. It looks really good. And it's a mix of yesteryear. Jennifer Lewis, you hear her voice open this trailer. It's like throwback to Whitley and Dwayne, because you know they're married, and it's centralized around their daughter in college at Hillman. I am so excited for this because it's not a comedy. I guess I'm sure there will be comedy, but it's more dramatic. And whoever did that TikTok dramatic version of Living Single, I want to see that. And yes, I'm kind of sad that we don't have the era, because we grew up, shout out to those of us that grew up in the 90s, we really had a plethora of great black sitcoms. Right now, there really aren't a lot. The only one I can even think of right now is Abbott Elementary, and I love that for us. But even that, I definitely consider it black, obviously, but even that has a mix when it comes to the main cast. And I'm okay with that. I love me some Abbott Elementary, but we used to have Living Single, Martin, The Cosby Show, Different World, Family Matters. The list goes on and on. Moesha. You know what I mean? We had Sister. We had so many black shows. And now I can't even think of more than one. What other black sitcom? There really aren't a lot of sitcoms. And I appreciate them not creating a Different World sitcom. I don't know if it would land the same, but we don't really have that anymore. Anyway, I'll get back to Real Housewives of Atlanta in a second, but I just thought of another story I wanted to talk about. And this is what Tuesday Takeover is about. And I'll add the timestamps when I get a chance, because I'm pre-recording this because I'm going to be busy, okay? But I will try and timestamp this later, okay? And if you're listening to this on the podcast, hey, y'all. Shout out to the podcast, fam. I just thought of this. Brandy. Because this is how I thought of everything. Brandy is singing the theme song to this new version of The Different World. I never thought of Brandy I never even thought about what they would do with the theme song. But I'm glad that they got her, because I heard it and I was like, actually, this makes sense. This makes complete sense. So I thought of Brandy because I don't know if you guys saw, Brandy went to support her brother Ray J. She loves her brother Ray J. And that man that got really upset because he claimed that Brandy didn't speak to him, something Broner, Adrian Broner? I don't remember. Anyway, that man, okay? He was upset because he claimed that Brandy didn't say hello to him when we clearly see on video. She says, hey, how are you? She didn't have a full-on conversation with her, but she says, hey, how are you? She's polite. And then he was like, oh, she didn't even say hello to me, and blah, 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 blah. And then she was like, are you okay? Y'all, I know Brandy presents to the world timid and sweet and quiet. But Brandy in that moment, you saw the energy. Brandy was just like, are you okay? Brandy ain't a punk, okay? And I kind of wish you would see more of that side of Brandy. But anyway, I've digressed. So, Brandy, why are you hanging out on Zeus? I know your brother wanted you to be there to support him. Him and Orlando Brown, I saw the guts overflowing during this fight, and I said to myself, I had high hopes for Ray J at one particular point. Because at one particular point, Ray J made a name for himself in the tech world. And I was like, okay, Ray J, I see you. Now it's gone to a whole other level. I don't know. I have digressed. But speaking of Brandy, she was a part of Disney's 23, where you saw all the princesses come together and they're singing A Whole New World. Beautiful moment, because you also get to see Anika Noni Rose and Halle Bailey, her sister. Them take this beautiful photo of being the black princesses of Disney, and I posted it on my X saying, I already know a lot of little girls are going to see this, and just the possibility. This is why representation matters. And I thought it was such a beautiful moment and a beautiful photo as well. And they looked and sounded really great. So congratulations to Brandy. It's so crazy that Brandy could be doing that one day, and then all of a sudden she's over there at the Zeus. At the Zeus. But Brandy stayed booked and busy. She comes out of nowhere. She was just filming a Christmas movie, I believe in Atlanta, with her daughter. Brandy is booked and busy, and I love that for her. But at the same time, Brandy, stay away. I get it. She wants to be around her brother. They were estranged for a moment, but stay away from Zeus, Brandy. Please and thank you. Stay away from Zeus. Let's get back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Again, if you missed our recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, be sure to check that out. You can also hear it on the podcast. Hopefully I've done that by that point. Okay. It's got a lot going on, all right? Anyway, so there's a lot of things playing out over there in Atlanta, okay? At one particular point, Kelly is still trolling the girls. She posted, she's selling this merch, The Standard. Are you guys actually buying it? Apparently you are, because apparently they're selling out. Kelly posted on social media, welcome to the circus. I would much rather be the town clown. Remember, she did that in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Porsha, and called Kelly the town clown. She said, I would much rather be the town clown than the town whore. Look, I am not a Porsha defender, but the constant slut shaming of Porsha is getting a little tired. And I'm not a big fan of Porsha, and I've called Porsha out when necessary. That's probably why I've been blocked a second time. Unblocked and blocked again. That's fine. But the constant slut shaming of Porsha, specifically from Kelly, is getting a little tired. So she says, hashtag the standard tees are now restocked, and use code hashtag Porsha for 10% off. Oh, Kelly, I can't. I just can't. All right, let me play for you guys a clip from the reunion. This is what Cynthia, not Cynthia Bailey, but Cynthia from our community, had called in and mentioned during saying that Cynthia got into it with Kelly and Shamea about the room situation. So let me actually play the clip for you guys. Let me actually fast forward this.
In my friend's phone, live time.
Hold on.
We're cool.
Okay.
Because if you want
the person in question is actually someone that you know, maybe
right.
Kelly Potter from Atlanta wants to know, Phaedra, why do you feel the need to protect a cheating man's
Okay, that's not it. Hold on, y'all.
Infidelity?
Anyway, no, you didn't about of the same. I said this out of it. First of all,
oh wait, that's not it. I'm gonna find the clip, y'all. I'm keep my fourth wall in. Okay, I just want to find the clip. Because I literally watched it. Oh, here it is. This is the first look to part 3. Shout out to our friends over at the RHOA Talk on X. Let me
do it. So
okay. You want to stop. They were ramping up.
Happening. We were all on this bus talking about
That's what I was scary being a part of this group.
Synthetic.
That party.
This was
in what the plot and the
we did a play together.
Why? And it was
Did not okay.
Why can't I?
happening
we were overthinking. Let it play.
Okay, Michelle.
with him or sleeping with him.
I can't see I literally watched it, y'all, and I can't find the clip now. Where's the damn clip? Hold on. Oh, no.
And goes so far as to not go to dinner to prove your...
Okay, this is the clip. Sorry, y'all. I'm keeping my fourth wall in, okay? And that's more editing on my part. I just wanted to find the clip because I know I saw it. All right, let me play the clip for you in regards to them talking about what happened in Dallas with the room situation.
Kelly and Shamea, the cleanliness of the rooms in Dallas was out of Cynthia's control. Why make such a huge deal and go so far as to not go to dinner to prove your point?
The room was filthy.
But why did the cleanliness of the room impact you going to dinner?
Oh my gosh, we couldn't even shower. I said, Cynthia, I know you.
Was the room that bad, though, that you couldn't shower? Because even what they shared, and look, if the room was that bad, you ladies would have at least recorded it and been like, and posted it on social media. At least that's what I would have done, because you're filming a reality show and you're not an amateur to this, Shamea. I would have been like, let me record this, and then I would post it on social media like, y'all talking about how the room wasn't that dirty? However, look at this footage. To the point y'all couldn't take a shower? Come on.
We didn't intentionally do this.
Yes.
It is dirty. We are not comfortable. It wasn't until I watched some of the stuff back and I'm like, damn, she really was like pissed about it. Even on the bus.
Yeah.
On the bus when she was going on and was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm like, I was trying to defuse
at that point.
Hold on, I'm not. One second.
Okay, go ahead.
I was even trying to defuse. Okay, can I please?
Yo, can you?
I was trying to defuse.
Because I want to say something.
I have to say, Cynthia looks great. I'm sorry. She does. She looks great. The fact that she looks the same age as the rest of these women that are in their 40s, and literally she's about to be 60 next year, I'm like, wow, she looks great.
If you would stop talking, I could.
All right, go ahead.
I was trying to defuse
at that point.
Hold on, I'm not. One second.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I was even trying to defuse. Okay, can I please?
Yo, can you?
I was trying to defuse.
Because I want to say something.
Well, if you would stop talking, I could.
All right, well, go ahead.
I got a dinner reservation.
I was trying to defuse the situation.
Andy said, I got a dinner reservation, Lord.
We got
to leave here at some point.
It read on the show that y'all were really beating it to death.
And
That's
I
how
hate
it read
that.
on the
I
show.
really do hate that.
So I walked through that house with every single person on this couch, through every room. You never see any person at any point go, oh, thank God I didn't get that room because it was filthy. When you...
Pause. I have to disagree with Cynthia with that, because K. Michelle, I can't believe I'm remembering this, and you guys will rewind the tape. K. Michelle literally said that she did not want that room in her confessional. And maybe because in her confessional, it's later on and they make a big stink about it, and that's why I'm just working through this in my head. That's why she made those comments in her confessional then, because they made us. This is why it's important to think these things through, guys. It's not in the moment in regards to those confessionals. Those are filmed at the end of the season, even though they gave us some in the moment confessionals this season. More of that next season, please, and thank you. But this is where I can agree with Cynthia. In the moment, nobody was saying anything. But in the confessionals, K. Michelle did say she wouldn't want that room.
Called me at any point, go person on this couch, through every room. You never see any person at any point go, oh, thank God I didn't get that room because it was filthy. When you called me, I said, okay, I will get it taken care of. You guys, for whatever reason, decided that you could film at the pool, but you couldn't come and film at the dinner.
I said that too. And K. Michelle too, because remember K. Michelle, she didn't have glam, so she was like, I don't want to go to dinner. Yet she was still on camera filming.
I'm doing a TV show.
Yeah, I understand that. But you still was on TV with the clothes on by the pool.
That's very true, but we was at the pool. But we weren't amongst y'all. Y'all were looking amazing in your fresh clothes.
By the way.
And we still had on our airport clothes.
And I offered at one point, I said, hey.
And why couldn't you film though? You're still filming. You're still going to be seen. None of these women are going to drag you because you didn't get dressed up. You can just be like, the room is filthy, so we didn't shower or do anything like that. But if it was me, I wouldn't be sitting by nobody's pool. I'd be in my room.
You know what? If you guys want to stay with me, you can stay in my room. I had a big room.
That wasn't until after.
I offered it.
Cynthia, and I'm talking about Cynthia, part of our community, she says she doesn't like how Cynthia Bailey handled this situation. I feel like they were dragging the situation, and I feel, yes, the room probably wasn't the best. They did show little moments. It didn't seem like it was filthy, though. But fine. I knew that they were going to talk about the Sturdy reunion because it became such a big deal, and Shamea was making little snarky comments about Cynthia, and Cynthia has really taken the high road most of it, offline in these interviews. However, in this moment, I think because of the things that Shamea has said in these interviews towards Cynthia, that's why Cynthia is giving the energy that she's giving. Because you've been making all kinds of snarky comments like I put you in that room on purpose. I still stand behind the fact that Shamea wasn't upset about the dirty room. Shamea was upset that she feels like she's being alienated from the group because of Porsha. I stand behind that 100%. I'm not changing my mind on that. I definitely believe that is the motivation behind why Shamea feels the way that she feels when it came to being put in the pool house with Kelly. It has nothing. Remember, we're always talking about how their arguments have nothing to do with what they're actually talking about. It's more about the show. And I think that's what's happening with Shamea. All right. I want to be honest about something because I think a lot of you will relate. The hardest part of tracking your food isn't the discipline. It's the tedium. It's the fact that every single day you're logging the same stuff over and over. And eventually you're like, I don't have the energy for this today. I've been moving all week. You know this is true for me. And that's the day you fall off. That's always the day it starts to unravel for me. Not because I stopped caring, but because logging my fourth identical breakfast, I'm a Taurus, you already know I'm eating the same thing over and over again. Eating the identical breakfast that week felt like a part-time job. And if you've ever tried to track your food and quietly given up around day 5, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So here's what I finally admitted to myself. I eat the same things constantly. I'm a creature of habit. Same breakfast most mornings. When I cook, I make a big batch and I'm eating it for days. You've seen it. I've gone live cooking. My diet isn't some elaborate rotating menu. And it's 6 things I love on repeat. And once I accepted that, I realized I'd been making tracking way harder than it needed to be. I was logging the same meal from scratch every day, like it was a brand new information. And then I actually started using a feature on MyFitnessPal Premium called multi-day logging. And it's kind of changed everything for me. Because here's what it does. I log a food once and I can apply it multiple days at the same time, up to 7 days at once. So my go-to breakfast, I log it one time, send it across the whole week, done. That batch I cooked on Sunday, the stew chicken, that I know I'm eating Monday through Thursday, maybe Monday through Wednesday, one entry all 4 days instantly. What used to take me a few minutes every single morning now takes me about 10 seconds one time. And here's the part that actually matters because it's not a chore anymore. I actually keep doing it. The friction is gone and consistency is the entire ball game with this stuff. And that's the thing I really want you to hear. Everybody talks about motivation, but motivation is not what keeps you tracking on a Tuesday when you're exhausted and your kitchen's a mess or you've been moving all week and you had a colonoscopy in the middle of the week. What keeps you going is when the thing is easy enough that you don't have to think about it. And that's what this did for me. And once the logging was effortless, everything else got clearer. I could actually see my protein, stay on my goals, and keep the whole picture in front of me, even during a completely chaotic stretch. Because I keep telling you, your nutrition is the foundation everything else runs on. Your energy, your sleep, your recovery, your performance. All of it starts there. But you can only stay on top of it if the tracking doesn't burn you out first. So if you've fallen off before because logging felt too much, this is the one that fixes that. It comes to about 19 cents a day for premium, which is wild for something that's basically a nutritionist in your pocket. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com and use code KEMPIRE, all uppercase, for 15% off MyFitnessPal Premium. That's podcast.myfitnesspal.com, code KEMPIRE. Go take care of yourself now. Thanks, MyFitnessPal. And we're back. Shout out to MyFitnessPal. As I said to you guys, with our code, that's $68 for the year. You saw what you could get in your pocket for $68 for the year. I definitely pay more when I meet with my nutritionist. That's $5.66 a month, 19 cents a day. Shout out to those of you that have been taking advantage of that. I've been loving MyFitnessPal, especially the multi-day logging, because sometimes I forget, especially with a move. Just saying. Anyway, I have a lot more that I want to get into when it comes to related to Real Housewives of Atlanta news. This is a Tuesday takeover that's all about Atlanta, including the pal that allegedly Pinky may have brought up. TMZ's got an exclusive on that. We're going to get into that in just a second. But the girls are still fighting on social media from this reunion. And I want to share some screenshots for you guys so that we can talk about them briefly, because the ladies are very active on social media right now. You remember one of the things that I pointed out that I heard, because again, with all the back and forth, you're probably missing out on some of what's being said. During one of the back and forths, Porsha says for Shamea to stay out of her argument with Kelly before they start talking about who she was with. Shamea, she was with BET Weekend. And then I said to you, oh, is that why Shamea brought Gerald to BET Weekend this year? Because remember, this reunion literally was filmed either the same week or literally the week before the reunion. And I said, oh, I find it interesting how quiet Shamea has been since the reunion. And then we saw that Gerald was there at the BET Weekend. And then more recently, he was also at her premiere party. And I'm wondering if that is intentional to dispel the rumors like damage control. I don't know. But apparently people also noticed what Porsha said. And Porsha responded on social media. So let me just show you what Porsha had to say. Hold on, let me make this smaller. This is me doing it live, okay? Keep my fourth wall, and shout out to our friends over at the RHOA Talk. So this person comments says, hold up, Porsha, who Shamea, not Shamea, was with during BET Weekend? Laughing face emoji. Porsha responds and just puts the T emoji. Some people would say, why would Porsha know anything? These two weren't friends at the time. Doesn't mean that their mutual friends don't know stuff. Or other people that were there. Because you have to keep in mind, too, it's BET Weekend. A lot of these people know each other. This is what y'all do during these events. This is why I stay at home. Okay? This is exactly why I stay at home. But I remember the law firm. Anytime we had a big law firm event, I remember the next day, the people that went, they would come to my desk, and they were like, oh, guess what happened at the company party? This one was drunk as a skunk, or this one was hugged up with another one. This one went home with another one. I said, this is a mess, okay? This is a mess, but I want the tea, okay? Tell me all about it. So apparently that's what's going down at the BET Weekend? Okay. So Porsha, again, I know people will say, well, Porsha is not the most reliable reporter. You're right. All right. Let's get into some more tea from this reunion, including Drew versus Pinky. All right. Let me show you what Drew posted on social media. So Drew says this: let's define cattle call, which Andy Cohen says that's a term that is used in auditioning. It says, let's define cattle call. A cattle call is a large open audition where massive group of hopeful performers, often including non-union actors, dancers, or extras, compete for the same role. The term comes from the idea that actors are gathered and processed in large herds, much like livestock. This part of the reunion didn't fare well for Pinky when it comes to the audience, because it showed that Pinky wasn't willing to take accountability, be vulnerable, or apologetic, because based on what Drew said, and people love to come for Drew, because even when I made a funny tweet about Kelly, when Andy said that they don't check bank accounts, so I said, guys, Kelly would be back, people use that as an opportunity. I know Drew won't be back, but is Drew being sued by anyone right now, saying that she owes them thousands of dollars? I'm just asking. Not saying that Drew's the richest housewife. We've seen her finances be exposed. She's definitely making more on the show than Kelly. Just saying. But this beef with her and Pinky, basically Drew made a lot of sense. She was like, there's a protocol. She's probably part of SAG-AFTRA. And she's like, there's a protocol when you're a part of a union. I can't take a job without you following the proper protocol. Pinky literally admits that she did not follow the protocol and doesn't take ownership of that or be apologetic for that. And then she was like, oh, she was making snarky comments about the situation. That's part of Housewives, and you made snarky comments about her and her career, both her music and her acting career. And they want to downplay, and the fact is, I'm not a huge Drew fan, because I can see why some people don't like Drew, but at the same time, a lot of y'all been coming for Drew for no reason. I can understand if Drew had done something to you guys, but Drew hasn't done anything. And I'm not sure if this is in part 3 or it's footage that wasn't included, but no, I would have seen it in the unreleased the Peacock version. But K. Michelle doubles down, I believe in part 3, about Drew with the plot and the plan in regards to the smelly vajayjay and things like that. And Drew says, I didn't even know about that said rumor. And I kind of believe Drew, because although we follow the pop culture and we know all the things, I can see Drew being like, I didn't know that about you. And you literally brought that to the show with your long toes, K. Michelle. But K. Michelle is still doubling down, saying that Drew was the one behind it. But you magically just let Phaedra be forgiven, despite Phaedra actually being named by Jason Lee as her reaching out to Jason. Although I don't think it was nefarious, but she was the one named by Jason Lee that had reached out to ask about K. Michelle. Just saying. All right. Since we're talking about Phaedra and Pinky, let's talk about what TMZ is reporting in regards to the Powell situation. So they've gotten some information as to, although they talked about it and we discovered why there was this energy between Phaedra and Pinky, that was, why are they coming at each other? This can't just be about the bankruptcy stuff. So TMZ writes this. They said Pinky Cole's Real Housewives of Atlanta blow-up apparently got a little too close to The Wire for Bravo's taste, because the network turned her gun talk into a vague reference to a device. So they're saying that here's the deal. During the season 17 reunion part 2, which aired Sunday night, Pinky and Phaedra got heated when Pinky ripped Phaedra for ratting her out to the higher-ups over Pinky having, in her words, a significant device to protect herself.
Pinky, Meatgate was a major topic of discussion. How do you feel knowing it was Kelly who said you eat meat?
Kelly, do you have something to tell me?
You know what? I used to see you at Davio's all the time. Davio's is a steakhouse. But I did not realize that until actually going out to lunch with Pinky, that she has her own personalized menu at Davio's, and it had nothing to do with me. So, Pinky, I love you. I also wanted to...
They're on an alliance. I feel like that meeting that they ended up having, I know Pinky wasn't there, they definitely have an alliance. And I'm not saying the other side doesn't have one either.
I apologize for spreading the rumor of you ate meat.
I got to piggyback that too. Phaedra, when you told me she had a Jamaican restaurant and she served meat, I thought you said she ate meat. So I misspoke. I apologize to you for saying that.
But the real thing...
That's accountability.
...is Pinky has never apologized to me. And I knew Pinky.
Pinky's face during this moment, Pinky's just giving her the... Literally, if you didn't know Pinky was Jamaican, this was the moment that you knew she was Jamaican. She's giving you that Jamaican mother look of death. Honestly.
We've done business together. You have my number, that you drugged me, you prayed for my wigs, you said I eat cadavers. You've never apologized.
Yeah, and I'm not going to.
Ooh. And why not?
First of all, something that I have not discussed, Andy, is she called the higher-ups on me.
But tell him why.
Oh, I will. She said I made a comment about having to protect myself when it related to a significant device, and I won't say it on this show.
No, you should say it, because you did make the comment.
No, first of all, I did not make the comment.
You did make the comment.
No, I didn't, but here's the problem.
When didn't she make this comment? When was the sit-down? That's the part that didn't make sense to me. Like, when was the sit-down?
literally just said that I could have picked up the phone and called you right then and there.
First of all, I kept saying,
I'm a grown-ass
shut up,
woman.
Pinky.
No, you did
Be
not.
quiet.
You did not say that. No, you didn't, because you was too busy being a mute at that table because you was up. That is not the truth.
You two have never had this conversation.
No, she never had it with me.
Listen, since
But
we gonna break
instead
the
she just
fourth
wanted to
wall,
drag
listen,
me.
because I just came into the group, I said, you know what? I'm gonna chalk it, I'm gonna eat it, I'm a professional, but I didn't like it. But I'm not gonna let that go. Because you don't play with nobody name and nobody character like that.
Okay, let me say this.
You know what I just had the thought, y'all? When she says you don't play with anyone's name and character like that. And I know Phaedra is probably tired of people constantly bringing this up. It's not something that Phaedra hasn't done before. She was willing to talk about Kandi and put out there that Kandi said and did something that never happened. And I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened here. But see what happens to your own credibility when you do something like that? And it's so funny that she wants Pinky to apologize to her, but she has not really genuinely apologized to Kandi.
Phaedra, she's been holding this in. She feels like you narked on her, thought she was a threat. Do you understand where she was coming from?
Yes, but does she understand where I'm coming from?
Okay.
If I wanted to go to the higher-ups, I really would have went to him.
I've known this woman for many years. If she really wanted to make a thing, she would have called me or she would have called someone in New York, and she didn't.
I would have put this on record that I am no threat to anybody. In this room. I got a pancake ass, just like you said. I wouldn't hurt a fly.
This ain't The Wire.
Bitch, everybody would do.
So...
Oh no. So according to TMZ, a source with direct knowledge tells them the device was a GUN. I think we kind of figured that out ourselves. And Phaedra wasn't down with the new RHOA member bringing it up. To clarify, we're told Pinky was never in possession of a GUN on set at any point in time. And the reason why this is coming out is probably because of how it was handled with Bravo and NBC Universal when it came to Britt Eady and the threats against Kenya Moore. So TMZ says that they're told that Pinky's GUN remark was not part of a scene. She said it earlier in the season to Phaedra off camera, and she was talking about needing protection but was not threatening Phaedra or any other cast members. That's interesting to me, though. I'm trying to understand why she would say that. She's denying it, but I'm trying to understand why she would say something like that. But again, we got to remember who's claiming these things. So the incident resurfaced during Sunday's reunion episode when Pinky accused Phaedra of trying to get her in trouble with Bravo execs, but Phaedra and Andy Cohen denied it went down that way. I don't know how Andy can deny anything, but he has his favorites. Phaedra took a shot at Pinky during the reunion saying, "This ain't The Wire. Pinky's from Baltimore, where the iconic HBO show was set." Anyway, TMZ says that they're told that Bravo edited down the conversation about the firearm since it was an interaction that occurred off camera. So they're saying there was more to that scene that we didn't see. No one called it a GUN during the edited down version of the hot topic, most likely to avoid another GUN controversy. Remember, former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Britt Eady was caught on camera last season mentioning she had a GUN during a heated moment involving Kenya Moore. No GUN or, quote, significant device was ever pulled during that incident, but many viewers took Britt's comments as a threat. I definitely took it as a threat. No matter if you're a fan of Kenya or not, I definitely did that. But Kenya, you should have played your position, girl, because you could have been back and Britt Eady would be still mad outside the club. Just saying. But here we are. 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 All right, guys. That is it. We hung out for about an hour and a half. I'm still going to call it a mini Tuesday Takeover because Tuesday Takeover usually can run 2 hours plus, maybe even 3 hours. But we covered a lot. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, be sure to like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're listening to the podcast, be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And I look forward to talking with you guys. Make sure you follow me on Patreon, patreon.com/TheKEMPIRE, because I probably will go live there this evening to talk Real Housewives of Atlanta and all of what's been playing out, and maybe some Ultimate Girls Trip. How are you guys feeling about Ultimate Girls Trip? Episode 2 was better than Episode 1. I'm still not buying what they're selling, but maybe that when we get to better cities. But I've already predicted, I felt like the Atlanta episodes would be probably the best episodes. So I look forward to recapping and talking about that with you. So make sure you subscribe to our channel here. Make sure you donate to our fundraiser for the LGBT Center. If you haven't already, 100% of your donation goes to the organization. So subscribe today. Donate today, I should say. And thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to anyone that sends in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps, any way that you support the channel. But like I said, it's liking the video, sharing the video, telling a friend to tell a friend about what we're doing here on the channel, on the podcast, on Patreon. Help support building this wonderful, beautiful community. I hope you guys have a fantastic Tuesday, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire, the king of pop culture. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire, head on over to thekempire.com.
Tired of your car insurance rate going up, even with a clean driving record? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.